The Commissioner for Physical Planning knows that federal lands are under the control of the agencies of federal government, not state government. There are federal lands, there are state lands. If you go to Lagos now, or any part of Lagos, any property that belongs to the federal government, you go to the federal land registry in Ikoyi to ascertain the title of that property. You don't go to Alausa, land registry in Alausa. In other words, there are clear demarcations of jurisdiction between federal lands and state lands. And I speak to you from the position of authority. I'm an estate surveyor and valuer. I'm very vast in land matters. I'm a fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers. What the Commissioner for Physical Planning in Lagos State did was an affront and a breach of the law. The people who manage the trade fair complex are people in the trade fair management board. It has the board has a CEO and the executive director. And for the fiscal commissioner to say that they went there to enforce law, she's been economical with the truth. They've never gone to that place. The commissioner
is a he, by the way. But
is it a he or she?
He, yeah.
Okay, I thought they said
but he's
also
saying that that the jurisdiction is still a subject matter of contention and conversations are still being had. But he also went ahead to say that even if you said that the original structures that were there from the 70s are under the federal government, that the entrepreneurs, they are beginning to build on lands that have not been occupied, and that land is under their own jurisdiction as the Lagos State government. How do you respond to that?
Please, the trade fair complex is not in the moon. It's in Lagos. If you go there, it is a space that is clearly defined. And Lagos State government has never gone there to do anything, either to collect property rate or ground rent or anything, or grant approval for any development taking place in the trade fair complex. It is the trade fair management boards that have been doing all this until they moved in about 2 weeks ago to bring down the buildings on the 25th of September. They have never gone there before in all the years gone by. So it's not a place they've been exercising authority over, oversight function or anything over the years. Their entrance into that place to destroy the buildings was an intrusion. And if you speak to the executive director or CEO of the trade fair management board, you get the facts. They were also shocked. The board was also shocked that Lagos State government can move into that place without telling them. Even the traders themselves were not given any notice. They were not written. They were not questioned over anything. What I read in the papers were that the buildings were on canals and drainages. People were building, without approval. That is not true. All those buildings that you saw erected there were approved by the trade fair management board. The Commissioner for Physical Planning knows that federal lands are under the control of the agencies of federal government, not state government. There are federal lands, there are state lands.